Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Yachts here, and it is Wednesday morning, and we got the Detroit Pistons in town for a game tonight against the Raptors. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's no news on the suspension yet. I was wondering if we'd see it. I'm starting to think that the NBA might wait and let them play tonight against us, make the announcement tomorrow, and then have them suspended after All-Star break. I'm starting to believe that. I mean, does Detroit have another game before the All-Star break? That's something I should check real quick. Let me just look. No. So it could very well be that they want to keep it all nice and tidy and just do all the suspensions after the All-Star break because there is nothing official about Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren getting suspended right this second. So we have to go on the thought that they are playing tonight. And Darko's getting ready for whatever situation, either one. I mean, obviously, it's a lot different if their two strongest, biggest guys are out there and if they're not. So, but there's no official word. There was a stupid thing that was posted on Instagram that had a 25 game suspension for beef stew. That was absolutely a fabrication and not true. And this is part of the problem with today's world is like there is a lot of bullshit being put out there as fact, but it isn't fact. And we really do have to verify our sources more than ever these days. Absolutely verify your sources because people be lying, people be just putting bullshit out there. And it's important to know if you want to know the truth. If you don't want to be in the right with truth, and you want to go ahead and be with the liars and the fake stuff, you go ahead and believe it. But it's like you're not living in reality anymore then. And that's maybe one of the biggest fights we're going to have in the next generation and the time coming is how do we live in reality still with an ever fake world that's not regulated and people don't seem to care whether there's lies and misinformation all over the internet and people are just generally stupider and confused and more misinformed. It's crazy. Anyway, I digress. Let me get into what I do on this channel, and that is a preview for the Pistons versus the Raptors tonight. First game of the season against Detroit. We'll play them 3 times this year. So, yeah, this is the first of 3. So, yeah, we'll have to see how we do tonight. All right, this is the word out of the practice yesterday for the Raptors. Murray-Boyles is already out for today's game. They're going to go ahead and rest him for this last game before the All-Star break. It makes sense. Trace just showed up. They want to get more time with Trace out there. In some ways, this is a nice long period where Colin could rest it. Now, they asked Darko yesterday, is Colin going to participate in the All-Star weekend if he's not playing tonight? And he says he's going to go. He'll show up. But I think the official word is that Colin may not participate in the game, possibly because of his thumb. We'll have to see. I wouldn't be mad at him if he got out there and played, even though he's not playing tonight. The only thing is, if you do play in the Rising Stars Challenge, Colin Murray-Boyles, you better be babying yourself and not doing anything crazy and maybe not going all out. That's all I would say to that. Don't go all out if you do go there. Jakob is questionable today. They promised us that Pirtle would be back before the All-Star break. Well, this is the last chance. So you guys promised us we get Pirtle back at Christmas, and it's February. So let's just see what happens tonight. I'm not holding my breath. His back is a fickle thing, obviously. And maybe it's better for them to just wait until after the All-Star break. I don't know. In some ways with Pirtle, he's a luxury to have when we have him. And well, we've been doing all right without him. So it's not that we're a better team without him or we can get rid of him. It's just that, we're holding the fort down in his absence. We'd like to have him back, especially if the suspensions are not coming through yet for Duren and Stewart. So yeah, this is a big deal. Chucky is still out, of course, with his meniscus surgery on the Raptors. I'm going to guess that the starters today will be Emmanuel Quickley, Brandon Ingram, the new All-Star, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, and well, I don't know. Who should they start otherwise? Maybe Jacoby Walter was the pattern last time. was putting young Walter in the starting lineup as the fifth guy and bumping Scotty into the center position and Brandon as the power forward. I would say this, maybe not tonight. Maybe depending on who is suspended or not. If they are not suspended, well, maybe you need to start Sandro tonight, Darko. Put Sandro in there as a center just to have some beef up there against beef, Stu and Duran. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. Like I said, the NBA is being a little slow with suspensions on this. I would have thought maybe they do it yesterday. Maybe they'll do it today during the day. But if not, they'll do it tomorrow, and these guys will get to play against us tonight. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, looking at the other side, there are some injuries for the Pistons. Not very many, though. Tulu Smith is down with the Motor City Cruise, I believe, and Ron Holland the second is out for personal reasons against the Raptors today, and that's really it, man. The Pistons are an interesting team. They're deep. They've got some veteran stuff on it, but also a good mix of youth. Their starting lineup is the All-Star Cade Cunningham, best friend of Scotty at point guard. Duncan Robinson's playing shooting guard for them this year. Asor Thompson is the small forward. Tobias Harris, the veteran at power forward, and the big man is Jalen Duran. Off the bench, Dennis Jenkins was recently converted from a two-way to a full contract. So he is a full member of the Pistons at this point after coming straight up from the league, G League. Karis LeVert is their backup shooting guard. Javonte Green, Isaiah Beef Stew as the backup center. Kevin Herter was recently acquired by the Pistons to add more shooting depth off the bench. Also, Paul Reed is still on this team, the veteran big man who used to play for the Sixers. Marcus Sasser, friend of Jamal Shed from Houston. These guys were teammates in Houston, so there's a little bit of a buddy grudge match between Sasser and Shed guys, and so watch for that on the court. Also off their bench, Bobby Clintman, who's a two-way. He plays on both the Motor City Cruise and the Pistons, and Isaac Jones. Isaac Jones, who I believe was on the Sacramento Summer League team last year and kicked our ass. Like, this dude's a problem in some ways. So, yeah, the Pistons have got an interesting depth chart. And, well, they've been winning a lot. They've only lost 13 games this year, and they've been on they've been on a tear. They've been on a tear. They've done very, very well this year. They are on a two-game winning streak. They beat Charlotte on Monday. They beat New York last Friday, which is impressive. They did lose to Washington, though, last Thursday, though. So they are won 2 out of their last 3 games. But they win a lot, man. I'm telling you, they've only lost 3 games in the last 10 games. So they're a very good team, and they play at a high level. And that, of course, that game in Charlotte on Monday was another level of some sort too. In the game prediction for tonight with the ESPN matchup predictor, it's not very good for the Raptors, which is interesting because we have home court and we have another advantage too. I'm going to talk about in a second. 61% they think the Pistons are going to win tonight, and we only got 39%. So yeah, that's a very favorable percentage for the Pistons in the ESPN matchup predictor. So yeah, there's your latest lineup news. No word still on the suspensions, guys. So we need to go forward until they officially announce any suspensions with them coming to the game in mind that they are going to be playing. That Beef Stew and Duran will be playing. We'll have to see, though. Maybe the NBA will make a decision around 2 o'clock today or something like that. We'll have to see. Referees for tonight. Let's go check it out. In the replay center, we got Brendan Schwab, James Capers Jr., Murat Kogut, Matt Myers, and Trey Maddox. They will all be in there. There's quite a few games tonight, so they have a lot of eyes that need to be seen all over the place. Now, for the Raptors game in Toronto tonight against the Pistons, our lead referee is Gediminas Petraeus, number 50 out of Lithuania, his 11th season. His favorite TV show is Narcos. His favorite movie is Coming to America, starring Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. He likes to listen to Swedish house music. His favorite book is The Great Gatsby. He likes to eat ceppaline. His favorite app is Peloton. He most like to visit Iceland, and he's also like to cycle through the French Alps. His hidden talent is ballroom dancing. Petraeus officiated the 2015 NBA G League Finals as part of a 3-year stint in the NBA's official minor league. He also has served as a FIBA ref. Yeah, Giannitas is really, man, he's like one of the best refs for the Raptors, guys. I'm going to say this right now. He's a top 5 ref for the Raptors right now, out of all the refs in the league right now. We won both the games he's ref this year. We're 2-0 this season. And our record with him has risen above 60%. He is in the pink zone. On my ref report sheet, there's 2 high zones. It's purple and pink. And purple's the highest zone you can be in. That's like you're 70%. You're 70% or higher. But he's in the pink zone, which is 60%, between 60 and 70% now. So we win 61% of our games with Petraeus. And meanwhile, the Pistons win 42% of their games. So 61-42 for the Raptors with the crew chief, Giannitas Petraeus. Yeah, he's a good ref, man. He's been fantastic this year, both wins. And man, he's just a level-headed guy. Like he's like, you know what? If we have 2 European refs and we've got Giannitas and we got Murat, they're like the yin and the yang of each other. We've got the nice guy, the good guy, Petraeus, and then we have the villain in Kogut. Yeah, they're very much the opposite in some ways. I see these guys. The second ref today is the protege. That's right, the protege of Scott Foster, Ashley Moyer-Gleish, number 13 in her 8th season out of Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Her favorite TV show is Beat Bobby Flay, like beat him with sticks. I would watch that. Favorite movie is The Bodyguard, and I will always love Glorilla. That's what Brandon's singing. Her favorite musician is Rihanna. Umbrella, Ella, A. Favorite book is Think Like a Monk. She likes to eat Spanish food. Her favorite app is the Future app. Is that like for Future Store? Like seriously? She most like to visit Italy, go on an African safari, and her hidden talent is double Dutch. So she's a double Dutch skip roper. Yeah. At NBA All-Star 2023 in Salt Lake City, Moyer-Gleish officiated the Rising Stars competition and All-Star Saturday night events. Yeah. As I said, she is the protege of Scott Foster. He is trying to train her. She is at the bottom of the ref spreadsheet. She was in the maroon category, color-coded, and she's risen to the red zone. The red zone's not good. The black zone is the worst zone on the ref report. And then the maroon zone is second. And then the red zone. Those are the bottom 3 zones. But she's down there. We did win the only game she's refereed this season. So we're 1-0 this season. But our record with Ashley in her career is 43% winning. And the Pistons win worse, 31% winning. So 43-31 for the Raptors, with the second ref, Ashley Moyer-Gleish. The third ref is Fred VanVleet's guy he called a B. That's right. He pointed at him last year and said, straight up, you're a B. You're a B. That's right. That's John Conley out of Orlando, Florida, number 56 in his 5th season. His favorite TV show is I Think You Should Leave. He likes to listen to Michael Jackson. His favorite book is Be the Pack Leader. He likes to eat potatoes and pasta. He likes the Jim Carrey classic, Dumb and Dumber. He most like to visit Australia, and his bucket list is to skydive in Dubai. Why can't you just skydive anywhere? Why has it got to be in Dubai, John Conley? I don't know. Let me see what's going on with John Conley real quick on the spreadsheet. Okay, yeah. His first experience as an NBA referee was officiating games with his mother in a men's 40 and over league. So he started as a kid refereeing with his mom, and he was refereeing grown men. So yeah, John Conley is we've won all our games with all the refs today. 5-0. Every single one of them has been at a game that we won so far. 5 games, 5-0. 2-0 with John Conley, and he is in the pink zone with Giannitas. He is up there too. We win 61% of our games with John Conley also. And the Pistons win 52% of their games. So 61-52 for the Raptors with the third ref, John Conley. So yeah, all 3 refs favor the Raptors today, and we're at home. And there could be an afternoon suspension. So there's a lot of things looking up for us today. Brandon had a really interesting comment at the practice yesterday, practice interview. Thank you, hello, and welcome, and William Liu for posting the interviews at the practice yesterday. They asked him, "What do you feel about playing the Pistons? Ooh, are you scared? Ooh, are you scared?" Because they're Eastern Conference leading team the whole time this season. And Brandon's like, they're just another team, man. And it's like, we just got to see how we are against them. And, it's February. It's not the end of the year, and we're a work in progress. And in some ways, win or lose against the Pistons, we're going to glean information from playing against them to make ourselves better and improve. In fact, yesterday, finding out that Brandon Ingram got the All-Star selection in the place of Steph Curry in his injury, it was fantastic. I'm a little jaded. I didn't think the NBA would do this. I think that in some ways, Glorilla helped Brandon Ingram get this berth, which is fantastic. I have nothing wrong with that. I think that the NBA guys like Charles Barkley and Kendrick Perkins and people saying Brandon Ingram is an all-star helped him also. And, because I really thought they were going to give it to Paulo. I really, really thought that they'd give it to Banchero or Michael Porter Jr. of the Brooklyn Nets, which would have been kind of stupid anyway. The Nets don't deserve an all-star. I'm sorry. And they didn't get one. But yeah, I'm fantastic. I'm elated. This is the most represented the Raptors have ever been at the All-Star weekend in the whole history of the Raptors. We will have more representation at All-Star weekend than we've ever had. 2 All-Stars, a coach, two rising stars, and an up next game representation. And why not a representative in the celebrity game also in Glorilla? Not only that, we have Mariah Amber, who's going to be the MC on court. Our in-game ops announcer at Scotiabank Arena is the all-star of in-game ops announcers, and she has been summoned once again. This is not the first time. She's come a couple times for the all-star. In some ways, we could say Mariah Amber is an all-star in-game ops because out of all 30 teams, our Raptors voice in the arena is the one the NBA chooses to come and do that job for All-Star Weekend. So let's not forget the great Mariah Amber for her all-star selection also, guys. And of course, all of our coaches with Darko will be going also as the world coaching staff. And we could name all 10 of them also as Raptors representatives at this all-star weekend. So yeah, we may have some of the best representation out of all the teams in the league this year. Seriously, does the Knicks have this kind of representation? No. Does the Boston Celtics have this kind of representation? No. Does Philly? No. Big Dummy didn't make the all-star team, did he? No, Tyrese is there. But yeah, these people don't have representatives almost everywhere like the Raptors do this year. And we should be proud of this Raptors franchise. We should be proud of this because it shows a real jump and a needle pusher that Brandon Ingram is and where we're standing in the standings in the NBA at this point. To have this kind of representation is awesome, man. So cool that they announced the BI All-Star selection around 1:00 yesterday, and they had to quit practice because everybody got so excited that Darko and Brandon Darko jumping all over Brandon. Brandon didn't know it was going to happen, and then it happened. And they were too excited, too distracted, and practice was ended after 15 minutes. I don't think the guys cared. Sometimes it's not like they quit playing or practicing. Those guys will stay and put in work and put in shots. It's just it's not organized in the drills and the way that Darko wants to do it. I'm sure they stick around and play like one-on-ones or horse or shooting competitions or just messing around on the court because you could hear them out there messing around on the court still during the interviews. So even though they called practice yesterday, these guys are putting in some work still and hanging around there. All right, let me check in with you guys on the chat, and we'll get into more about, and we have to cover a 9:05 game that happened last night in reaction also. All right, Trevor J's words of wisdom this morning. 2 things you can count on in life. You will reap what you sow, and tables do turn. Wow. Wow, that's heavy. That is heavy. Yeah, I mean, we want to have a justice. We want to have a balance. We want to have right and wrong in this world. And we're in a really weird period where some people are going to try and test the limits of morality. Some people are going to try and make different sets of rules for different people. And that's what it seems like this has been going on for a while. that there's a very high class billionaire elite that we shouldn't even call them elite, just rich people absolutely abusing laws and doing all kinds of stuff behind dark places that is absolutely reprehensible. And we're finding out that, like, even the DOJ in the United States, Bondi, saying if we prosecute everybody in the Epstein file, the system will collapse. Well, some people say if it's like that, it should. It should collapse. And I think that it's inevitable that it will, whether they want it to or not at this point. It's crazy. But yeah, I really hope this is true, that people that are reaping things right now will get what they get and sow it in the end. I really hope this is true. Words of wisdom, man, I will have faith in the Lord that what you say is true, Trevor J. Blessings to the Jones family and all the Rapper Freak families, man. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Trevor's saying, congratulations to Brandon being an all-star. He's the 10th Raptors player in franchise history to be an all-star. 31 years of Raptors basketball, 10 all-stars. I didn't think that we'd get our 10th all-star until next year, because I was pretty sure we'd get Brandon for sure next year. But wow, this is fantastic. It's really true. Like Bobby said in the press conference when we got Brandon, we want to make him an all-star again. Well, mission accomplished, Bobby Webster. We got him to all-star. And I mean, we can give a lot of credit to you for bringing him here to Toronto. We can give credit to Brandon for rehabbing, listening to the health staff, listening to his coaches, and getting to higher and higher levels as a player. As Brandon said yesterday, he's evolving. And I think we can see that on the court and the way his game is changing. He said it himself that he's evolving on the defensive end. And, I like this. Brandon in Pelican land could probably stand around and just wait for him to take his shots. It's the stuff he's doing off the ball when he doesn't have the ball, whether it's on defense or on the offense off the ball, that is really the new stuff. And this is the area where he can really, really get better and better, because Darko is talking to him about, what are you doing on the court when you don't have the ball? What are you doing on defense to help us better? You have such great length, Brandon Ingram. How can you be more active in making quick decisions on the defensive end to help the Raptors even more? And that's revealing a whole new side and aspect to Brandon Ingram's game that he has not been seen in the decade that he's played. Is a more active defender that's getting disruptions for the other team with his length. And the other thing that is really fun about it is Brandon is really kind of enthusiastic right now, because he's seeing the gains. And when he says he's evolving, people should be scared around the league. Let's just put it that way, because a player of his talent and his height that is decided, you know what, I've got DeRozan code. I am a gym rat. I have been this dude who's worked his body crazy because I've taken so many shots because I love the game so purely. And I live it and breathe it. And I think about it. I dream about it. I can't get away from it. This man is not sick of basketball. He lives, eats, and breathes is basketball. And well, he had a stagnant part in his career where he wasn't getting pushed. He wasn't getting challenged. He wasn't getting the opportunity to take himself to his highest level and push even further. And well, he's getting that with the Raptors now. And the thing is that he's an intelligent guy. He's willing to put in the work. And now he's in a setting where he has the support and the knowledge and the instruction from a great development coach named Darko to elevate his game to whole new levels that we wouldn't even thought he could get to. Brandon Ingram, much like Kawhi Leonard, is destined to have his greatest pro seasons in a Raptors jersey. And that's no joke. And that is a really good testament to Darko and his coaching staff. Just like Brandon said, that Grange cheekily asked him in the interview, Brandon, do you want to thank anybody for getting the All-Star? And he's like, Brandon took this real seriously. And I love how even when Grange comes at him with a negative ninny question like, last year you were hurt. Did you ever think you could get back to this? Why would you want to put him in his mental head back where he was sitting on the bench and, not totally happy because he's injured and he's, there's a little bit worry about your career resuming and being able to play at a high level still from an ankle injury. Fuck you, Michael Grange, for being so negative and bringing him back to that place. He's in a happy place now and things are great. And why even bring up injury, you motherfucker? But yeah, he takes the shitty questions and turns them into sunshine because he's above it. And I love he went through the list of everybody he has to thank. And he thanked the organization, he thanked the medical staff and Dr. Alex, he thanked the coaches and the development, he thanked his teammates, he thanked Glorilla, he thanked his family. Yeah, Brandon is evolving. And I think that's something that Raptors fans should be very, very happy about. Very, very happy about. He is evolving. He is evolving. That's right. 10th All Star in Raptors history. I love that, man. Can you guys name the 10 All Stars? I can do it, I think, off the top of my head. We got Vince and Antonio early. We got Chris Bosh. We got DeMar and Kyle. We got Freddie and Pascal. We got Scotty. We got Brandon. And who's the other one I'm forgetting? Kawhi? Kawhi's the other one, right? I didn't say Kawhi. Yeah, it's Kawhi. Let's see. Trevor's bringing up what I just said. Raptors players and coaches strong in numbers at the All-Star weekend this season. Let's go. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I want to cover this weekend. I don't want to do the live watch-alongs. I've done them in the past. They're tedious. They're long. It's like a 3-4 hour stream, and some of it's just boring. I find myself just sitting there being like, "This sucks. This sucks." So I think I'm going to keep the streams at around 9:30 all weekend. I don't think that there'll be any live watch along with the celebrity game or the All-Star Saturday night or the All-Star game itself. I think that I'll just keep my times in the morning and we'll just do reactions the next morning to the events. So Saturday morning we'll react to the Rising Stars and Colin Murray-Boyles and Elijah. And then on Sunday we'll react to Saturday night. And then on Monday we'll react to the All-Star game. So I think that's the schedule for the All-Star weekend. I was debating doing live watch-alongs, and I'm like, nah, I want to be able to be free to do what I want to do for those 4 hours later in the evening. I don't mind giving you guys 2 hours in the morning to talk about it. So yeah, Trevor's saying Mobo career high 35 points. What a big game for him. Yeah, yeah, really proud of Jonathan today. Too bad they didn't win. Yeah, man, it's funny how him and Scott echo each other sometimes. I feel like sometimes Scotty does something on the Raptors level and Jonathan tries and mimics it on the 905 level. And this really was what it was. There was a point in the third quarter where Jonathan Mobo did his best Scotty Barnes impression where he was attacking the basket, dribbling at it and doing spinning layups and coming right at the rim and just killing it and just going crazy, scoring, getting really aggressive. Just really, really aggressive. It was a totally different look from Jonathan Mobo that we've seen in the 2 years he's been on the Raptors so far. There was a lot of confidence in it, and he was playing against a big team, so he was going in there and battling. So, yeah, we're really proud of Mobo. Holy crap. Let's go ahead and do the 905 loss to Cleveland Charge yesterday. It was unfortunate. They really kind of did a lot of good things in this game. Oh, I didn't set up for this. This is stupid. All right, hang on. I'll get this set up. I don't know why I didn't set up for the G League game. I should have remembered. You got to have the spreadsheet for the G League out too. Jonathan is my number one player of the game, obviously, because he had his career high points. And it was awesome. The reason why the 905 lost is free throws. I really do believe that. They missed a lot of free throws in the game. And the chunk of points, because each free throw is worth like 2 or 3 points, depending on what shot it was, because they're not like normal NBA free throws that are just count for one. So if you miss like 5 free throws, you could be missing out on like over 10 points. And man, they missed a lot of free throws last night that were unnecessary to miss and absolutely hurt them in the end with the margin. They did lose by 4. And man, any of those free throws that could have been made would have been awesome. All right, Jonathan Mobo in the losing effort, he got this. He got 35 points in 32 minutes, so he outscored his minutes. 14 of 20 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3 though. 4 of 6 from the free throw line. So he had 2 of those missed free throws, and that's probably about 4 points he missed, and that's the margin right there. 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 4 steals, and 3 blocks, a +4. This dude, man, a 35, 7, 2, 4, and 3 game. 7 stocks with 7 rebounds and 35 points. Jonathan Mobo. I almost said Scotty Barnes just now because that's a Scotty Barnes kind of line right there. Salute to Jonathan, man. Keep going, man. Yeah, they get to play the Cleveland Charge again on Thursday. They need to get that get back because honestly, we got the same record as them now, the exact same record. So the game on Thursday will determine who's going to jump above each other, and we're both in second. I think we're in second or third in the Eastern Conference in the G League. So the second star of the game, I'm only doing 3 stars in the loss, is David Roddy. David Roddy has been, erratic with some of his shooting, but he wasn't last night. He got a solid double-double in 31 minutes, 17 points with 15 rebounds. David Roddy's 8 for 13 from the field and 1 of 1 at the free three-point line. 1 assist, 2 turnovers, plus 24, and they lost by 4. So David Roddy was definitely a winning player for the 905 yesterday. His veteran know-how and his muscling around and his bullying, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So salute David Roddy, even in the loss with a double-double of 17 and 14 double-double. My third star of the game is Elijah Martin. Elijah came out there and he valiantly fought, tried to get things going for the 905 in a fairly good way. 30 minutes for Elijah, 18 points on 6 of 11 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, a -10. Elijah's threes were very timely and confident, the 3 out of 5 that he shot, and he made both his free throws. So I'm not mad at him for that part. So in some ways, I got him and the stars. So yeah, those are my 3 stars of the game for the 905 loss to Cleveland Charge. Jonathan Mobo, David Roddy, and Elijah Martin. Yeah, going over the other guys, we'll go ahead. AJ Lawson had 19 points, but he had critical misses at the free throw line, 0 for 2 at the free throw line, and he shot 8 of 18, 3 of 9 from 3, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, even at plus minus. AJ was frustrating. In some ways, it was like Long Island Nets. AJ Lawson showed up again. And I love how kinetic he was. I love how aggressive he was. The Raptors 905 were down big at halftime, and they did come back in the third quarter and ate up a 20-point lead to a 10-point lead. But then, alas, they gave it back up by the end of it and gave it up 2 more lead. They had brought it down, but they fell apart in the last little bit of the third quarter and gave the lead back. But then they fought back in the fourth again and charged back. And they didn't even have any business trying to get this game and being close because they didn't deserve it. They went crazy, frenetic, and crazy. AJ Lawson, really the part of it that is just so quick with his jets going down the court and attacking the basket every time as quickly as he can to get as many possessions for the Raptors 905. And it was crazy. They had like 2 minutes to go, and they're down by like 15. But they ate up the lead and almost won it still. Like, it was crazy. They had it down to a 2-point lead with like seconds to go. And they were just, man, they were going all out. They were doing so much stuff to try and extend the game. They made the last minute of the game so long, and so much points were scored in the last minute of the game. Alas, it was too little too late in a 4-point loss. They were so close, though. It's almost like if they had turned on the Jets a little bit earlier in the game, or maybe made a couple of those free throws, this game would have been a Raptors 905 win. Man, they were so close. They were so close to winning this game. So freaking close. Jarkel Joyner gets honorable mention for the game last night. He started 26 minutes, 13 points on 5 of 8 shooting, 1 of 2 at the 3-point line. He made his free throw. Thank you, Jarkel. 1 rebound, 3 assists, 3 turnovers, a plus 18 for Jarkel Joyner. Him and David Roddy were very much winning players last night. Olivier Sarr starting at center, 23 minutes, 11 points, 4 of 10 from the field, 1 of 4 at 3. He made his free throw. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 2 blocks, a minus 11. I guess I could give him an honorable mention also. Off the bench, Julian Reese, not as big a game as Sunday, 2 points in 11 minutes. He missed both his free throws. He was one of those guys that, in some ways, young Juju Reese, 20-year-old, you got to really take care of your free throws because you lost us 4 points, and the loss was 4 points, and your 4 points Could have kept us tied by the end of the game. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 turnovers, a block, -6 for Julian Reese. Tyson Degenhart, 0 points in 8 minutes and just a turnover. Really, really pathetic game for Tyson. That's crazy, Tyson Degenhart. How do you go 0 for? Seriously, man, you got to wake up. You had 24 in the last game. So the last 2 stars last game didn't show up in this game. AJ Hogarth, 22 minutes, 2 points, 1 of 5. He was not effective offensively. 4 assists, though, with 2 turnovers and a block, a -21. And NBA champion Patrick McCaw came out there, and he was a defensive specialist for Andrew Jones in the fourth quarter, played heavy in the fourth quarter, and he was doing a lot of good stuff. The Raptors 905 did a good job in the last quarter, outscoring the Charge by 15 points, 40-25. And Patrick McCaw was a big part of the stoppage of stopping and slowing down Cleveland Charge because it was tough, man. McCaw, 5 points on 2 of 3 shooting. He did hit a 3 out there. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, and a block for a 3-time champion of the NBA, Patrick McCaw. Yeah, that man, it was tough. On the other side, I'm gonna give some credit to Emmanuel Miller of Scarborough, the older brother of Leonard Miller. Was the guy who torched us on the other side. At least we kept it in the family of Canada. 19 points for Emmanuel Miller in 37 minutes, 6 of 14. He did miss all 5 of his threes, 5 rebounds, a +1. Also 19 points for Killian Hayes, who was out there playing. And yeah, other guys of note, Darius Brown, man, he has some crazy hair, but 7 points and 14 assists for Darius Brown. That's a crazy stat line. But yeah, good team effort all around. For the Charge, they had 8 guys in double digits, and that's how they outscored us. So, yeah, it's a tough game. Andrew Jones did not like losing that one. I'm going to tell you right now, the arena was weird. We kept calling it like the Opera House or the Haunted Opera House because it had some crazy balcony, and it looked like it was from it looked like it was a set from The Shining, the movie. You know, that big hotel Jack Nicholson's in, writing his story, and then he's like goes crazy. Yeah, this arena where Cleveland Charge play, it looks like a set out of the Shining movie, like that hotel. It's a big, huge, crazy open space with weird verandas and shit like that. It's crazy. We did shoot better than the Charge, but we still lost 54% from the field for 905 to their 47. They made 6 more threes than us. That was a problem. The free throw line was a problem also. They made 10 more free throws than us. We shot 57% at the free throw line. That was the thing that killed us. 8 of 14 from the free throw line. And I know Andrew Jones is talking to them about it. We out-rebounded them. Our assist to turnover ratio was poor too. All the Raptors 905 each got a turnover. We did not take care of the ball well either. That's the other thing. Missed free throws and turning the ball over way too much. Assists 25, 18 turnovers. That is not the percentage we want. And on the other side, they did it the way we should have done it. They had 32 assists with 13 turnovers. And that stat is a key stat for Raptors games right now. Who has the better assist to turnover ratio? That's the team who's winning. We did dominate in the paint, 674-50, though. Yeah, it's tough, man. A tough loss. In some ways, they need these kind of losses, especially with the young people like Julian Reese on the Raptors 905, learning that you need to really take care of your free throws. If you don't, well, you're going to lose a game. Maybe you shouldn't have lost. Yeah, James is here. Good morning to Raptor Freak James. Good to see you in the chat, my guy. Lex, the Ringer has Ingram at 51, top 100 players in the league. Do you agree? I think he should be a bit higher. I don't know. That's pretty fair. I think that's pretty fair. I mean, if you look at it this way, if the All-Star game indicates the best players in the league, well, there's 24 guys that go to the NBA All-Star game. And well, you have replacements. So if you have like 4 replacements, you can get that to like about 30 players. So maybe he is a top 30 player. Maybe in that kind of thinking, well, if he made the All-Star team, that's the top 30 players. So yeah, I guess, James, you could say this. He should be higher. Maybe he's in the top 30 just because he's one of 30 guys that's an All-Star this year. I don't even think we have 30 All-Stars. I think we have 28 at this point. You know, because of 3 injury replacements. So there's 28 All-Stars this year. So he must be a top 28 player, right? By that logic, right? Shaq Lindsay saying, I'll take questionable over being out indefinitely. Yeah, for Jakob. Yeah. Yeah, he's questionable. Hopefully, we hear good news. I think on Sunday he was so close to coming back against the Pacers that it was just a last second decision to go ahead and say, we'll wait. We'll wait. But he was really close, I think, on Sunday. So hopefully he just comes and plays tonight and we see the return of the big Austrian because it's been too long. It's been way, way too long. And in some ways, this is a great game for him to return in, right? Detroit. It's a great game for him to return in. Yeah. Shaq Lindsay, good, thank you for supporting the channel as a member. Win or lose, I just want to see some fight in our guys, not literally laugh out loud. Yeah, that's maybe not the right word because of Monday. I agree with this, and I think that this is kind of what Brandon said yesterday in the interview. Is like, guys, we are a work in progress. We need to learn. And Raptors fans that just are like win or bust. And if we don't win, I'm so mad. And I don't understand it. You got to understand we're a young core. We're learning more and more. And it's not necessarily about wins and losses in the regular season. Sure, we want to practice winning and win as much as possible. But sometimes the losses at this point are more informative to help you get better. Does that make sense? It's like, sure, you could go on cruise control and reel off a 9-game winning streak, but maybe you're learning more from failure. Maybe you're learning more from the one step back to get the 2 steps forward. And that's the thing. Brandon very astutely says it's like we're playing in February right now, guys. And this is a work in progress. And by the time April, May comes around, we're going to be a different team by then because we're continuing as students of the game with our teacher, Darko, in development as a nucleus, as a whole team to go further and further with what we want to try and accomplish and who we are and being who we are and learning and gelling and getting better and better. So, we'll play Detroit today for the first time this season. We'll still have to play them 2 more times. And each time we play them, we want to show improvement, right? We want to show improvement. It's just like the Knicks. When we play the Knicks, the last 2 times we played them this season, we want to show a better effort, and we'd like to beat them in one of these games before the end of the season, right? Same with the Celtics. So it's a work in progress. We gauge things, we learn from it. And like Shaq Lindsay's saying, if we can get a good competitive game where we go toe to toe with the top team in the East, there's no disrespecting in that. That is a good thing. That's showing that you're competitive with one of the best teams in the league. So that's what's good right there. Stargate, good morning to you, sir. Trevor's saying, so now Raptors have 2 All-Stars. We have to go deep in the playoffs. Man, that's what the pundits are saying, that when we've had 2 All-Stars in the All-Star game that year, the Raptors win a playoff series. That's the trend. It's DeMar and Kyle, whether it's Kawhi and Kyle, whether it's Pascal and Kyle, whether it's Scotty and Pascal. We go deep in the play. Well, I don't know if Scotty and Pascal will ever happen. No, but every time we've had that kind of situation, we've gone further in the playoffs. Yeah, Scotty's not gone past the first round. So that's not right. So that's interesting. We'll have to see if that holds true this year. If we get back in the top 4, which we should, I'm still thinking we're going to be in the top 4, guys. Even if we're slightly down right now, we'll hold home court advantage in the first round. And if we can, even though we're young and we haven't had the tested waters, if we're talented enough against the other team and we have our shit together enough, we can get a first round playoff victory this year, even as a green young team that hasn't really been there before. Because the home court advantage will really help. And if we're prepared enough and it may be the matchup's really good because they're another team that's like us that is also learning and trying to learn how to play in the playoffs also. We'll have to see what the matchup is at that point. Right now, it's looking like Cleveland or Philly is going to be our matchup at the end of the year. And if it's Philly, hey, that's good for revenge. If it's Cleveland, man, that'll be tough. But James Harden is on their team now. James Harden is on their team. Shaq Lindsay saying Scotty needs to take it to another level. Less isolation from BI, especially when he's double teamed, because Pistons are good at that. Dick, work on your stroke. Okay, that's a cheap one. And IQ needs to be aggressive on both ends of the court. Oh, can't forget to make your free throw. RJ, make your free throws down. Yeah, I guess you're giving notes for each one of them. I don't know. I don't even want to tell them how to play. I think that Darko is so amazing and what he's been doing. It's like just do what you're doing, bro. just, just do what you're doing, man. I mean, I can break this each down. Scotty needs to take it to the next level. I think he is. I think he is already. It's just that, we're crying out for more. We want to see more aggressiveness. We want to see more selfishness. We want to see more hamming up to the camera, Scotty. That's what we want to see, all that. Less isolation for Brandon. Yeah, I think this is happening naturally also. I think that there's more trust around the team, that Brandon in some ways doesn't need to have the ball in his hands. He's not playing with the ball a lot right now. He's waiting for the ball to come to him and being in the right spots. And that's good. And I think this is completely true, that some of the stuff we've done with Brandon this year has become too predictable. And the teams have adjusted, and they've made us pay for it being too predictable. So it's important that we do get Brandon in creative new ways, getting scores. And some of that is cuts the basket off the ball and him dunking the ball. And I love seeing that new trend in games recently. That's been a lot of fun. Let's see. Yeah, Dick needs to make his open shots. That's pretty simple. And IQ, it's got to be aggressive on both ends of the court. I think he's doing a good job. IQ could go over aggressive and it could hurt the team. I think he's reined it in. He's at the right place. The other thing about IQ is he's not going to be kind of like the same defender as Jacoby and Jamal and them. But you know what? He's an underrated defender. People don't give Quickly or Barrett enough credit for their defense this year because they're not really known as defensive players. But they're locked in and they're holding their end in their part and what they're supposed to do. And they're getting in between people and they're chasing people and they're keeping up. And in some ways, one of the knocks on RJ for sure was he wasn't a good defensive player when he came from New York, but that's absolutely not true anymore. This guy has upgraded his defense immensely this year, even more than last year. And Emmanuel's making the effort to chase around the screens and keep up with his guy. So man, I'm really happy about how well they're doing that. The RJ thing with the free throws, man, it is annoying, but it's always like he'll miss the first one and it's like off the front of the rim short. I think it's because he's not bending his knees well enough. And then he'll make the second one. And then, as he says, if it's late in the game and we really need him, he'll make them when it really counts. Either way, RJ don't look good. And, we have stupid people that are RJ haters in our nation, which is stupid. You give them ammunition when you shoot poorly at free throws. And in some ways, I can't protect you on that, but I can also say I don't care because he's a hometown hero. And if part of the payment to have this guy on our team is he's going to miss some free throws here and there, I'll look the other way. I don't care. I don't care. As long as, like he said, he promises he'll make it when it really counts in the crunch time when it's later. If he misses a first free throw in the first quarter, the first time he gets to the line, well, in some ways it's not that I want that to be his signature, but it is a little bit of his signature. Trevor's saying that the Pacers beat the Knicks last night and Pascal dropped 30 points. This is something that Pascal does when he goes to New York. He has big games. We can remember that big game he had against New York, the 50 spot, right? Against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Woo-wee! Siakam loves the bright lights. And Rick Carlisle does too. Now, think about this, guys. We just played the Pacers on Sunday, and we beat them. And in some ways, everybody's like, oh, they're trying to lose. They're trying to lose. Well, do you guys think that the Pacers are trying to lose games after them beating the Knicks last night? No, they're not trying to lose games. They're playing to the highest of their ability. And if they get the opportunity to win the game, they're going to go win the game. And you got to realize this also, Knicks versus Pacers, so much history. Reggie versus Spike Lee. There's so much history to this. There's a lot of pride. And, well, what happened last year in the Eastern Conference Finals? The Pacers put out the Knicks. So there's a lot of shit talk. There's some get back that Brunson and those guys want to get at, the Pacers. And, well, the Pacers like, no, we ain't having this. We still beat y'all. Because in some ways, Rick Carlisle is not going to forget how he beat the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. He's going to show up and he's going to try and employ some of the same tactics, right? Right? He'd be dumb not to. And, well, the success over the Knicks is still there as of last night. And I love it. I love it. We may not be able to beat the Knicks, but Rick Carlisle can. Oh, yeah, he can. That's right. Yeah. Shaq Lindsay's saying ends on the court. Oh, wait, I already read that. That's the second part of his question, his thing. No CMB today. Yeah, no Colin today for sure. There will be no Colin Murray-Boyles tonight. expect extended Trace Jackson Davis more again tonight. We'll get even more of a look at him, and this will be an interesting test for the newly acquired Jackson Davis because yeah, we're throwing him in the fire with possibly the guys who aren't going to be suspended. There aren't suspended yet. So we'll have to see. If there is breaking news during the stream about a suspension for Beef Stew and Jalen Duran, let me know because I'd like to know on the stream because I'll go check at some point anyway. But if you guys see it, put it in a comment right now. Yeah, if Jakob shows up too tonight, then that'll be part of it too, you know. All right, Randolph's here. Good morning, Randolph. Thank you for the text this morning. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. It is a dangerous place to be when bias, hatred, and prejudice says you don't belong, which is why we need to protect the integrity of the justice system. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, man, there's so many things broken right now in the United States right now and really around the world. This Epstein file is really shaking things, and in some ways, it's like I said, it's making it clear that there is a very seedy, dirty part at the top in the leadership and different things. And in some ways, the people need to rise up in power and turn it upside down and start over. There's going to need to be a revolution. And it's going to have to be in a certain way. In some ways, you know, the best way for us to revolutionize and fight right now is maybe a general strike. I think that, you know, the thing is, these people, what it matters to them most is this. So if people get organized and we hurt them where they care the most, you know, they'll come down to their knees and crumble. So a general strike where most people decide they just don't want to go to work one day is kind of like when you're in school and you have a skip day and everybody just says, no, we're not going to class. What are the teachers going to do? Well, they're all not coming. Oh, can we punish all of them? I mean, how do we do that? Well, none of them are coming here. Well, it just slows shit down. It stops everything. And that's what I'm saying. If things get so crazy, the more people that just walk off and just generally strike, you know, students are already doing this in schools where they all walk out of the school and say, we're on strike because of ICE. We don't like what ICE is doing to our nation, and we have walked out of class. You know, these are protests. This is resisting, and work stoppages and a general strike in general is a very effective thing. It's just that you have to be brave enough to go do it. You may have to be resourceful with your life as far as your money and taking care of yourself during it, but it may be what's necessary. Being on strike, whether you're in a union or something like that, can be very, very effective. So just imagine if everybody calculated together, as many people as possible, walk off, just how much the cogs of society will stall out and stop. In some ways, this is one of the best weapons for this because it's anti-violence. It's not a violent thing. It's a thing where you're just saying, we're not going to engage in this sick society anymore until we get changes. And we're stopping coming to work. And, you know, it may not be easy. In some ways, it's where we got to come together as a community and collective and share resources so that people can get through a possible hard time financially, just in case, you know. There's a lot of philanthropy out there. There are people that will actually come and help, trust me, because there are very rich people that are not happy with things. And if they can help the situation, they will, trust me. So we got to stay optimistic and understand how much power we actually have. They're trying to teach us that we don't have any power, but that is not true. We all have a lot of power, but it's just like the ants. Our power is in numbers. Our power is in collective decision making together in a strategy that helps, and all of us working in motion together will solve a lot of the issues, the problems with the United States is what's going on down there right now. So remember that power. Blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families. Thank you, Randolph, for your words of wisdom. Yeah, Fiercely saying this. Good morning, fam, and happy game day. So happy for Brandon. Yeah. I have to admit, I wasn't thinking that the NBA would come through on this. I really thought that, you know, it's the NBA. They've always screwed us over. Maybe this is part of the new NBA. It's like now the Raptors are going to get a fair shot. Now the Raptors may get their due finally, actually get the publicity. Maybe this is going to open the door because all of a sudden Brandon Ingram is a little bit more of a acceptable, established NBA star from his past with the Lakers and the Pelicans. And he's opening the eyes of basketball fans in the United States. They're purists that, man, I just love Brandon Ingram. And it's so cool to see him on the Raptors. And boy, is Scotty cool too. Yeah, maybe we're getting a little bit of notoriety and passion and fame like Vince Carter. And it's not going to be on the level of insanity that he's like the most popular player in the league and the leading vote getter for the All-Star team. But it's going to be maybe on some sort of level that we're opening doors and eyes. And the United States is a little bit more like, you know what? The Raptors are entertaining. And you know what? Channels, we want to see them. Will you put them on more stateside? Who knows? Maybe some of this can open up for us, especially, the justification is if we are winning and we're a winning team, we should be seen on TV. Yeah, that's the way it should be, right? Right? That's right, man. Let's keep going. Neil, good to see you. Yeah, let's go. Let's go, Blackhawk. Randolph saying, Lex, have you ever thought about posting the ref report where the Raptors players can see it? I think this will help them if they know this stuff. Thank you. Uh, you know, they have their own ref reports. I mean, in some ways, they could get Garrett Temple to do the ref report. Yeah, he's going to know the ref report better than me because in some ways, he knows all the referees. He could actually talk to them. Tony Brothers and Garrett Temple have been friends almost 20 years now because that's how long Garrett Temple's been playing in the league. So I'm not telling them anything that they don't have the ability to go see. I don't know how much Darko or Nick before him would actually talk to the players about the ref crew and how to play towards them. I don't know if they do that. In some ways, I'll bet what they do is they see who they are. And, there's always going to be like personal issues, Scott Foster, Chris Paul kind of shit. There may be a ref in the league that really is a vendetta with Scotty. And there's like, oh, that ref really doesn't like Scotty. And this may be true. So maybe in those special cases, they make note of that. Like, oh, fuck, Scott Foster's here. And we know he's threw Scotty out for calling him for being a cheater. And yeah, they have a grudge or something that may not be true. Scott Foster may be cool with Scott at this point. But I'm just saying that kind of example. And then there may be referees that they have the opposite of. That they're like their favorites. They're like, oh, Carl Lane. Woo-wee, Carl Lane's coming in. All right. I don't know. In some ways, this is for you guys. I don't know if this would help the players because they know better than me. They talk to the refs. And, the other thing is these guys are coming up to the refs before the game and having little conversations. Sometimes it's just as simple as like, hey, how's your wife doing? Hey, how's your kids doing? And, the referee, because this is the way Fred described this on Unguarded. The referees are part of the fraternity of the NBA or the organization. And the way Fred put it as the president of the Players Association, Fred VanVleet, our GROAT, one of our GROATs, the leading scorer in most points ever in a Raptors game, he said that the referees, we need to protect them just like the players because they are a part of our game. They are out there on the court. And in some ways, we're all a brotherhood, sisterhood with the referees. And that Fred, as the president of the Players Association, said that the players are instructed by the NBA to show respect to the referees and understand for the sanctity of the game and keep upholding the rules and the respect of the office of referees, that the players need to protect them to a degree. And that means not showing them up. That means not attacking them. That means maybe not being disrespectful to them on off the court time and interviews and stuff like that. And there's a fine line. And of course, Fred, he's had his issues with the refs. We know. We know. But it's interesting that Fred said that just so publicly, saying, a lot of the referees, they're just like us. They run up and down the court just like us. They get tired. Some of them get hurt, like Bill Kennedy did this season. And, in some ways, we got to look out for the refs, just like the other players. So that's part of the mentality in the players also. You got to realize the referees and the players can be friends. They can be friends. But the referees are not trying to show favor, like, oh, that guy's my friend. Like, I gave him a call. No, they're friendly on the level of like, we understand you're the official and you're going to be calling the game, but we recognize you're a human being and we'd like to say hi. And, if this helps with any of the calls during the game, that's great. It's like, yeah, I do care about you, Tony Brothers. I'd love to hear about your daughter's new job or something like that. It's stuff like that. So these guys, they do a lot of the work before the game when they're doing the the ball thing in the middle. They had the kid come out and say, "There's a game ball. Jimmy's bringing out the game ball for the game tonight, Raptors fans." And there's Tony Brothers and Jamal Shed and Tyrese Maxey staying in the middle of the court, and they'll hold the ball, and they're standing around, they're talking. And I've seen the players walk up to the referees in the warm up and just shoot the shit for them with them for a little while. I mean, it's smart. You build relationships with these people. They may be more willing to help you out. And this is part of the reason why rookies don't get respect because they don't know them. It could very well be a new guy comes in the league, a young guy like Derek Queen or something like that, and he's going all out, but he's not showing respect to the referees. Well, they're not going to show respect to him, and they won't give him any calls as a rookie because he's not a known guy, and maybe he hasn't come over and said hi yet. I'm not going to be able to teach them anything. Trust me. And I'll bet Darko does have some sort of preparation with the coaches where they look at the ref crew and kind of think about a little bit of their proclivities and their tendencies, maybe if they aren't good for the Raptors or not. But yeah, we have a good crew tonight. I feel really good about our crew tonight. Knock on wood. Hopefully that comes true in the outcome tonight. Yeah, Reggie's saying this. Zubac. All right, Ivica Zubac. Okay, let's see what he's saying. Reported to Indiana. He was on the bench last night. He looked happy. That's good. That's good. He should be happy. He just had a baby, right? He's on a new team. I think it was just a sad moment. Like it really looked emotional, him leaving the Clippers. Like the people really bonded to him, like the staff. And people were really tore up about him getting traded. And the other thing is it kind of blindsided a lot of people. If you were Zubac and you were on the Clippers and you were playing with all these great Hall of Fame players the last few years, and you really were getting close and you're seeing all kinds of, momentum and building towards something, especially this year with the way they started and where they're coming to now mid-season, the Clippers. He may feel a little bit like, why was I putting all this work into this for the last couple of years and building this up if they're just going to trade me away like this? There's a lot of pain in that. And also, he went to the worst team in the East. So, I mean, the future is bright for the Pacers with Halliburton coming back and, who they could be next year. But also at the same time, it's like this year's a wash. Is he going to do a Brandon Ingram and sit for the rest of the year? I don't know. In street clothes, that might be what happens. Stargate saying, I never seen Brandon Ingram block shots in the Lakers, the Pelicans, like he has on the Raptors. Yeah. That's part of it. He's Brandon is expanding his game because Darko's demanding it, and he loves it. He wants Rajakovic to push him. He trusts him. And in some ways, he's like, push me, Darko. Don't make it easy for me and hold me accountable. This is how great players get greater. You could become a prima donna at the top of your field in the NBA and just be like, I know everything. You don't need to teach me anything, coach. No, that's not Brandon. Brandon thirsts to become a better player. So he's just like a rookie on our team. Tell me, coach, demean me. Come hard at me. Say, look, you didn't do this right. You didn't do this right. Because you push me, I'll become better and better. And Brandon Ingram's not jaded 10-year vet where he's like above that kind of treatment by a coach. No, he's asking for it. He's reveling in it. He's loving it. That Darko's hard on him and he's pushing him. He's saying, "You all right, Brandon? You want to be a better defensive player? This is what you have to do. I'm listening, Darko, and I'm going to go do it." And that's the stuff, man. The accountability for Brandon Ingram is the same as for Jacoby Walter and Grady Dick. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. That's right. That's the way it should be. Stargate saying, no joke, and I'm serious here. Not trying to show shade or be disrespectful, but Michael Grange seems to be a bit slow. Yeah, some of the questions he asked, you have to just scratch your head like, huh? I know. And in some ways, as much as I analyze the ref report, I analyze the reporter report. And I know the ones that are good and the ones that are doing all right in there. Some of them are weird. Everybody has a bad day in the reporter corps, and they may ask a stupid question. Even Samson Folk will ask a stupid question every once in a while, but not very often. Let's just put it that way. And other people will ask a stupid question more often than asking a good question. Michael Grange is one of those guys too. Yeah, the press corps are weird. In some ways, when it's a happy, jubilant day like yesterday, Brandon getting the All-Star nod, they have to be on their best behavior. But don't ever underestimate the ability of Sportsnet's Michael Grange to Eeyore some shit. And Brandon Ingram on a happy day. Brandon, what did we think about last year when you were sitting out and you were hurt so much? And let's think about that. Why don't we fucking think about him getting on the All-Star game, Michael Grange, motherfucker, instead of worrying about or thinking about when he was hurt last year? Oh my gosh, man. He's like that, man. He is like that. And we got to remember who signs his checks. That's right. The boss man. That's right. Ed Rogers the third. That's right. So he's saying, I won't be watching any of the All-Star weekend. I'll watch the Raptors media. There you go. You're going to watch. Well, are we even going to have anybody down there to cover it? I think that we have to watch the NBA people cover it because I don't think they send Sportsnet or TSN people down there. They just take their broadcast and show it on our TVs up here. So I think we do not have a separate Canadian broadcast. Maybe in house, maybe they'll have Brad Fay sitting in the, or maybe Tim McAuliffe, which was an upgrade. I'm going to say that right now. Tim from Tim and Sid sitting in that booth with Matt Bonner and Sherman Hamilton. That was an upgrade, Raptors and Sportsnet, just so y'all know. That was an upgrade. Brad Fay out, Tim McAuliffe in. That was an upgrade. I think a lot of Raptors fans can agree with that. That was an upgrade. And just like Blake Murphy being at sidelines all of a sudden is an upgrade also. Yeah, I don't know, Smooth. I think you have to watch their coverage because I don't think there's Canadian coverage coming from broadcasting up here. They'll piggyback and just use the feed, right? Stargate saying, I read that one already. Smooth saying, I haven't watched since 2016, and that was because it was in Toronto. You know, I often just watch the events where the Raptors are involved because it's kind of essential for this channel that I watch the actual events where Raptors are involved. And I'll keep even watch if there's Canadians involved or former Raptors. You know, like I'll probably watch the 3-point shootout more for Norman and just to see how Dame Lillard does just coming in and shooting the 3-point shootout. You know, that'll be very interesting right there. Isaac saying, I never thought I would say this, but shout out to ESPN for Kendrick Perkins' advocacy for All-Star Brandon Ingram. I really do feel like they helped. Really, seriously. They got the national conversation. We got to understand a lot of the decisions the NBA makes is because of national conversation. And part of the problem the Raptors haven't done well is because we're not in the national conversation. So Charles Barkley, Kendrick Perkins, different talking heads, Vince and Tracy talking about Brandon Ingram, feeling like he should be an all-star, definitely helped. Definitely helped. And, you know, we put a really good, strong campaign through our broadcast with Matt Devlin calling the call on our games also. That helps too. Yeah, G saying thankfully quickly was too quick with that Gatorade and the Cap played defense. What are you talking about? Too quick with the Gatorade? Oh, they're trying to throw that Gatorade on Brandon at half court. Yeah, they piled on him and they didn't even tell him why at first. The man was just like, okay, guys, just like jump on me, dogpile me. All right, why? Why? You're on All-Star. What? I made the All-Star team. They didn't tell him till after. They just like attacked him first. Brandon, why are you doing this? You're an all-star. What? Yay. It's so crazy. They all attacked him like that. Trevor's saying this. Mobo watched Scotty's game against Indiana and how aggressive he was, and he did the same yesterday. Yeah. It's crazy how the parallels happen, man. It's like, I don't know if part of it is the scheming and like the Darko's like, we're running things the same here as we do on 905. And some of the parallels, it even happens in games. Sometimes a 905 game will have a similar kind of outcome to the Raptor game right around the same time. Like it's so weird the parallels I see all the time between what's happening with the 905 can actually kind of portend what's going to happen with the Raptors. So if we're going by what happened yesterday, the Raptors are going to lose a very close game tonight where they were not winning or any close to the team. Like let's just try this for an experiment today, guys. All right, if this is a true kind of thing to test, the outcome for tonight will be the Pistons will blow us out in the beginning of the game and kick our ass for most of the game. In the third quarter, we'll come back and we'll cut the lead into half of it. So it'll be a 10-point game. In the fourth quarter, we'll let them get back to 20, but then we'll come back and get it down to 10 and even down to 2-point game, but we'll still lose at the end of the game. Let's see. Let's see if that happens because that was the storyline yesterday in Cleveland for the 905 against the Charge. And let's see if this mirror reacts it. I'd love for the Raptors to win tonight and just get the win. I don't want to see this pattern fall true, but who knows? Maybe it'll happen and we'll be like, whoa, That's weird. Like, if what I just said happens in the game tonight and that's how it goes down, I'm gonna feel creepy. Honestly, I'm gonna feel creepy. Reggie's saying this for my NBA coverage now. I go to local coverage of each team. I can't take ESPN garbage or Fox Sports. It's too much BS. I find myself angry at their ignorance. I'm totally with you. I mean, I don't even just get angry at them, the American ones. I get angry at the Canadian ones too. This is why I don't watch Sportsnet or TSN other than the Raptors broadcast, because I can watch TSN Sports Center and they're regular anchors and people that do all the sports. They're snarky, and in some ways I still don't like the way they treat the Raptors and the way they talk about the Raptors, because I know the Raptors aren't number one in their heart like mine. And in some ways, yeah, you're pretty lady, you're a funny guy, but in some ways I don't trust y'all covering the Raptors, so I don't even watch y'all to get the coverage of the Raptors like a lot of people do. And that's part of the reason why I'm different than some Raptors fans. I'm not as cynical or jokey or making them butts a joke, because I take them very seriously. But TSN and Sportsnet anchors, they can be really kind of snarky and insulting towards our team, and on the down low, gaslighting our fans and our team. And that informs our fans' psychology and behavior and social media, and makes them more apt to disrespect the team and the organization in general. That's the top behavior right there. I can show it to you. It's right out in the open, like everything else. The veil has been lifted. You can see it. You can see it. That's right. Let's see. Smooth saying it's like they're dumbing down their coverage because of the audience. That's very true. It's probably very true. You know, this is a big problem, man. They are going to have more and more stupid people. I think AI and even Googling to find answers on a search engine like you have already for decades has actually made people stupider, because we're not retaining information like we used to. I retain a lot of information in my brain. Are young people uh testing their brain for memory and understanding and remembering stuff? No, they don't, because they got this and they just go here and they punch it in and they don't have to learn any facts anymore. So how much people are really knowledgeable and learning anymore because they can find everything on a search engine or through AI questions? That's going to be a big thing going forward. Are you a traditional learned person because you read books and you took the information in and you memorized it and you kept it in your brain as information? Or are you a lazy person who doesn't actually take the time to learn everything, and you're just going on relying on technology to get your information now? It's a scary time, because think about it. Whatever that thing tells you, you're going to take as being truth. And what's to say that AI or Google search is going to tell you the truth about what you should do? It could be that they modify it and make it what they want you to do. That's the saying right there, man. It's deep stuff, man. Isaac's saying, laugh out loud, at 100% smooth. ESPN is manufactured clickbait, manufactured debate. Yeah. I wish they could just go back to what they were originally. But like everything, it gets ruined over time, partly because of economics and bottom line and thinking that this is what's making money, more sensationalizing, more this, more that. Yeah, it's too bad, because the best ESPN was the one in the beginning, the one where two people sat at a booth and they did the sports scores, just like a local sports broadcast on this local news. And they just went over the highlights and they just talked about the game. And there wasn't so much punditry, there wasn't so much arguing, there wasn't so much personalities. It's more like, we'll make jokes like Stuart Scott, and we'll show you Michael Jordan's highlights against the Knicks, and we'll show you some stats, and we'll give you sports factoids, and we'll this stuff is more fun. It was like, it made sports attractive, it made it more fun. Now it's not as fun anymore. It's toxic, and it's hollow with content. It's like there's not really good quality in it. And ESPN used to be such quality. It's garbage now. It's sad. It's just like MTV. What happened to MTV was just as shitty too. Yeah. Let's see. Kareem saying, I can't believe Quickly tried to pour blue Gatorade on Brandon. We all know orange Gatorade is the celebration flavor. God super glued that cap. This is such a weird, ridiculous comment. I'm gonna give him a dunk just for like bizarreness. Like, I don't know any of these Gatorade rules you're talking about, Kareem Thomas. What are these Gatorade rules you're saying here? Like, oh, we all know this one shouldn't be this one, and this one is this one. That's crazy, man. I've never heard about these Gatorade rules. I'm from Florida. Sorry, I have a problem with the table I've got this camera on. Let's see. All right, 33, my guy. You got the Jamario Moon 33. All right, let's keep going. Seymour saying we might be arming ourselves after that tragic shooting in British Columbia. Sad. We got to do better. Stay safe, Raptor freaks. I have no idea what happened in British Columbia. I've not paid attention to the news. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying, Seymour. In some ways, I'm gonna pass on this comment right now, and I'll look at the news later and decide for myself. G saying this, KT, there was some divine intervention. I was watching, like, no, not the braids and the laptop. Yeah, I guess God is on Brandon's side, and maybe Emmanuel is protected by God that he didn't do that. And that was God looking out for you, Emmanuel, quickly, in your namesake, protected by God. That's right. That's right. Monique is here. Good morning to Superfan Mo. Always happy to see the Superfan in the chat with us live. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Happy game day. Busy morning. Happy for BI. I keep your heads up, 905 at the game tonight. Let's go, Ryako. That's right. Monique will be heading down to Scotiabank Arena to be in the house for the game tonight. We love our super fan, Monique Lawrence. And it's always a good vibe and a good chance of luck when she shows up that the Raptors will win. So I'm very happy to hear that she will be there tonight. That's right. That's right. Seymour saying BI3 up, BI3 big up, big up. That's right. All-star. That's right. KT saying ESPN and Fox is a waste of time. Watching TV and expecting good representation of Raptors on U.S. outlets is minimal. Listen to TSN or Sportsnet is really our only choice. It depends, man. They're coming around a little bit more down south. I think that it helps in some ways that Vince and Tracy are two prominent guys on one of the new broadcasters. As much as they bug me, they do kind of give us a fair shake more than other guys, because in some ways there is a soft spot for us. There's a recent put out by Kith Streetwear. Kith, they're making fun of how Mike Tyson said the word kiss. Kith. It's a clothing brand, right? And well, they came out with this new line of NBA apparel, and Vince is rocking the Raptor stuff. He's wearing the 15 with the purple and red in the Raptors gear. They got Latrell Sprewell wearing the Knicks stuff, and they got McGrady wearing Magic. But that kind of warmed my heart to see that, okay, they got Vince modeling Raptors gear, and he's smiling in it, and it looks right. That kind of stuff does give you points, Vince, with me. It really does. It really does when I see that. So maybe they're going to help a little bit with this in a weird way. Kareem saying quickly woke up and chose violence yesterday, even in the midst of celebrating BI. Yeah, I don't know why you're saying that. Some ways this world has too much of this. Let's not choose violence, guys. Let's not even say that, man. Smooth saying Toronto may as well be in Siberia the way they're treated. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think it is changing. I feel it this year. I think that the fact that we have such good representation at the All-Star break is respect is being given to us. I think that the respect is coming towards us because of mainly two people, and that's Scotty Barnes and Darko. That people really realize Darko's a fantastic coach, and Scotty Barnes is waking people up finally to just the level of player he is. Sure, Brandon helps bonafide things, but I think that the respect is coming to us because of Barnes and Rajakovic, guys. The respect is coming to us finally. And that's not just from the NBA media, it's from NBA fan in general, too. KT saying, let's beat the snot out of Detroit and see what they're going to say tomorrow. Okay. All right. That 905 game showed grit, but also showed the importance of converting free throws. Yeah, and not waiting till the last minute to try and make up the score and try and beat them at the very last second. You don't have enough time. You run out of time. You run out of time. You didn't make it. In some ways, it was crazy how quick y'all got to close making it, but it still wasn't enough. And you got to clean up some of the stuff earlier so that you land the plane on the right side with the W. So, yeah, let's see. Smooth saying Philly is a good matchup for the Raptors. They have a thin bench, only 7 deep. Yeah, in the playoffs. Yeah, we'll have to see, man. And it's a good revenge. It's kind of like, we've got a certain going back and forth with Philadelphia in our history, whether it's Vince and AI, whether it's us, the shot with Kawhi against Joel, whether it's the last time we played them and got out in the first round, Scotty's rookie year. Yeah, we owe them. We owe them. I think that they beat us with Iverson. We beat them with Kawhi, and they beat us the last time. We got to beat them this year. If we play Philly in the first round, I want to beat their ass and put them out for sure. For sure. They got Paul George out for HGH abuse. And, Embiid is Embiid. So, yeah, let's go. Kaloy's here. Good morning, Kaloy. Morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Beat Detroit alert. Santino is sick today, so I have a double duty working and babysitting. There you go. There you go. Man, I hope Santino feels better. You give him that vitamin C, that orange juice, and give him some rest. Let that kid watch his cartoons and just take it easy. I'll send healing vibes to the youngster. Healing vibes towards young Santino, Raptor Freak Santino. That's right. Smooth saying this. A lot of Sixers fans want Kyle Lowry off the team. They acknowledge his 2019 chip, but feel he is a wasted roster spot. They can't stand that Nick Nurse is protecting him. Oh, wow. This is just great, man. This is fantastic. I love this, man. I mean, in some ways, I could see why they'd be annoyed with him. He's been posting a lot of Raptor stuff this year. Yeah, he has. He hasn't been posting a lot of Philly stuff, though. In some ways, the love that was shown from the Raptors audience towards him is jealousy in some ways. Some ways they're like, wow, you guys are really awesome for treating our player like this. But also it's like, damn, we're never going to have it with him like they do. That's part of it. I mean, I totally get this. Sixers fans that are really diehard and militant 76ers fans probably never happy that Lowry was on the team because he does symbolize their pain from the 2019 semifinals in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. Yeah, he does symbolize it a bit. Nick does too, to an extent, though. But I love that. I love that. Nick Nurse, in some ways, sometimes you do get back on my good side. And the fact that there's Sixers fans mad at you because you're protecting Kyle Lowry, well, I love that. I love that. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's great news right there, Reggie. Great news all around right there. Isaac's saying Pascal Siakam broke the Knicks' tiny heart. He's got something like that. We played the trivia yesterday. We did John Wallace Tuesday classic Jurassic trivia. And the new question is who's the sun and who's the kryptonite? And well, maybe, Pascal Siakam's son's the New York Knicks. Yeah, as a team. He beats them. He just has the kryptonite for them. He beats them in the playoffs last year. He beats them on the Raptors. He beats them last night. It's just Siakam's sons, the Knicks. And that's part of it right there. Yeah. Let's see. Infamous saying, salute, freaks. This is my most anticipated game of the season so far. Detroit is a complete team rebounding, mid-range, and outside shooting. Extremely aggressive defense. We have to be ready mentally. Yeah, Brandon was saying that yesterday, that they're going to come at us with physicality, and we have to be ready to meet it. Darko talked a lot about physicality yesterday, saying that the Raptors have a different kind of physicality than the Pistons. The Pistons are a straight-up physicality, a physical physicality. The Raptors are more in the Raptor verb as far as to seize, as far as to agitate, as far as to maybe we're not physicaling you down low or pushing you around in certain ways. Some of our guys will. But most of what we're doing with our defensive energy is we're attacking you and doubling and hurrying you and getting in your face and making sure you might cough it up. So in some ways, there's a physicality to the Raptors defense. It's not the same as Detroit's. It's not a classic one where you beat them up with the big man. This is more of a agitator defense of physicality. And it works. The Raptors' way of doing it, it does work. We really do agitate the hell out of teams. So we got to be ready for that. And they're expecting this physicality. Brandon said the key to winning tonight is to outplay them IQ-wise, smarts-wise. We have to outsmart them. We have to be a team tonight that shows a higher IQ on the court as far as decision-making and talent, as far as like maybe they're a little bit dumber overall as an IQ, as a basketball team. Just a little bit dumber. Maybe hardworking and physical, but a little bit dumber. And the Raptors can do the dumber and dumber to them. And Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey. That's right. Whoa, do some shit like that. We're going to make them look stupid. And that's what Brandon said. We got to outsmart them tonight. We outsmart them. We can beat them. That's right. That's right. That's right. Infamous saying all teams have a ref report. It's part of their preparation for games. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. They get to know who they are in the morning because we don't find out till right before we go on the show. They released the ref report from the NBA at 9:15 this morning. I was on the air 10 minutes later. So yeah, they let us know that these are the refs just before I do my show. So the Raptors don't know the refs until we know it. Same time in the morning. Randolph saying, Lex, I'm happy BI got in. He deserves it. I heard that he was expected to be an automatic pick. I admire his humility and willingness to work harder. I love this, what he said too. This is what he said yesterday. It kind of pisses him off that he wasn't a straight up all-star and he's a replacement. And what he said was, I got some things to prove to some people to show them that they were wrong for that. Woo-wee! You love when you hear a basketball player say they got things to prove, to show people, oh, you drafted me so late, and all you other teams passed me, I'm going to come beat your ass. In some ways, Brandon's got that energy about being a replacement all-star. He takes that as a slight, and he wants to show something to people because of it. Watch. That's what he's saying. That's what he said yesterday. Let's see. Also, Randolph is saying this. Lex, the winning percentage is the portion of your report that I hope they get knowledge of. Yes, they have access to the same resources that I have. And I'm pretty sure that maybe they do look at that stuff. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't care. I don't know. Either way, listen, I'm not questioning whether Darko and his coaching staff are repairing these guys to the utmost best ability and everything that they need to know. And it could very well be, honestly, maybe some of them are watching us in the morning. I'm pretty sure the broadcast crew watches us, guys. That Matt and whoever he's on with, maybe not the other guy, but I'm pretty sure Matt Devlin watches us because in some ways I give him a good idea. If it's not Matt Devlin, it's somebody in the TSN or Sportsnet production crew. They check in with us to get kind of maybe some of the storylines for the day and maybe some of the information. I'm telling you, it seems like it because he echoes a lot of the same stuff. And we may ask questions on the morning show, and Matt Devlin goes on the broadcast, and near the beginning of the game, he answers the question, which is amazing. I love that. I love that. If there are people from the broadcast watching me, thank you that you trust me as a source and that you enjoy my show. And if it does help the broadcast later for the Raptors, I'm so happy to help. And I don't need any compensation. I do this out of the passion of my heart. So yeah. If they are watching me, I don't know, either the team or the broadcasters. Let's see. So happy for BI. That's the Pope of Positivity, Jimmy Pope. Good morning to you, Jimmy. Looking forward to tonight. And Bryce is here too. Good morning, Bryce from the state of Kentucky. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Good to see you too. Seymour saying, let's go Raptors. Jimmy saying, hell no, Lex. We're beating their ass. Well, that's what I want too. I want that too. Let's get off to the All-Star weekend with a win and beat the Pistons' ass tonight. We have kind of beaten up the Central Division this year. It's the Atlantic Division we can't beat. But we beat the hell out of the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Indiana Pacers, the Chicago Bulls. We played them once. We beat them. Milwaukee, we beaten the hell out of them. So the pattern of beating the Central Division teams could hold true because we have been beating the hell out of them this year for sure. So yeah, maybe that will hold true like that. I like that. I like that, man. KT saying this. Nope, not putting that loser mentality based on 905 yesterday. Laugh out loud, Jimmy. Well, I was just saying, I'm just curious, is that kind of pattern going to hold true? We'll just have to see. It's an experiment. Of course, I want the Raptors to win. Of course, I want us to go above and beyond and beat the top team in the Eastern Conference. Of course, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Quasimodo, good morning to you, sir. How effective is the Pistons zoning plays? Good morning, by the way, Lex. Good morning to you, sir. I mean, this is a problem we've had all year, right? Is the zone. And the zone busting has gotten better. We see Scotty going to the middle with the mid-range and other people doing that. So RJ gets in there too. And well, if they're going to do this and they're a high-level defensive team, this may be one of the best tests of the zone this year. And we'll have to see how far we've come along with zone busting and beating that. Once again, I'm going to remind people that think it's so silly that one of the Achilles heels of the Raptors this year is the zone. Such a basic defense. That is something that people are like, that's a joke, isn't it? That the Raptors can't beat a zone. I'm going to say this once again. This is not a zone when you're in high school. This is not a zone in the NCAA. These are zones put on by NBA talent and NBA speed, NBA size, NBA strength, NBA know-how, NBA resources. This is not a normal zone. When you're playing against a zone in the NBA, this is a high-level zone, maybe the highest level zone you can play against in the entire world. And the fact that you say, oh, it's a zone, why can't the Raptors ever beat a zone? This is humiliating. Well, in some ways, nephews, it's not about it's the zone. It's the talent of the players that are in the zone that makes that zone so difficult sometimes, especially if the person in the middle is somebody like Joel Embiid. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. Yeah, we'll have to see. Detroit has a good zone. It's going to be a good test. We'll have to see how far we've come along, right? Isaac's saying that was an amazing quote. Dunk for Lex. You are a pretty lady and you're a funny guy. I don't trust you, but I don't trust you. I don't even remember where that was from. You gonna give me a dunk for that though? All right, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll go ahead and oh, for the TSN broadcast. Yeah, okay. All right, I'll take a dunk. I don't always take my dunks, but I will at this one. Let's see, where am I on the list? There I am. All right, I've got RJ9. All right, I'm at 9. RJ9. I love it. Love it. All right, let's see. KT saying it's not babysitting if it's your own child. Just saying. Are you telling on yourself, Kaloy? That all right. Anyway, we won't go on this either way. Criscom's saying, yes, sir, Lex. All right. The great Criscom's in the house. Good morning. We got so many people in here today. It's good. Yes, sir, Lex and Raptor Freaks. This is my guy, Pert Plus, back today. Pert Plus? You keep calling him Pert. That's right. Pertle. I don't know. I don't know for sure. He's questionable. He's got more of a chance to come back than being out. So he is questionable. Yes, that's me and my boy's name for Pertle. Pert Plus, just like the dandruff shampoo. Okay. End of the day, I really like this team, liking that they didn't make big changes to the roster. Well, it's smart not to. Bobby Webster, you've done a good job. You and Masai Ujiri building this team up. And your work has been great that you don't need to correct it. That's part of it. Raptors fans, if you have to make trades or switch up your core, that means you didn't do the job right. And in some ways, Bobby has done the job right, and we need to keep going with it because, man, it's looking so good. We have to count our blessings. We are so lucky to have one of the best coaches in the league, to have one of the best GMs in the league, to have one of the best franchise players in the league, to have one of the best organizations in the league. And Raptors fans realize this is all true. Every single thing I just said. And understand that and stay in the right mindset to remember that. Seriously. Because a lot of us get jaded and get negative and cynical, and it's absolutely not necessary. We are in a great position in this league. And you can go talk to Chicago Bulls fans. You can go talk to Sacramento fans. You could go talk to a lot of different fans around this league, Dallas fans, and ask them how they feel right now. Yeah. Yeah. And we are in a great position. Trust me, guys. Kesper is saying so much Raptors representation at the All-Star weekend. Let's go. That's right, fact checker. I love it, man. This is the most Raptors All-Star weekend ever. The most ever. There's been times where we have been not even involved. Early on, there were All-Star weekends where there's no Raptor representation hardly at all. At all. And well, look at what we got now. A whole slate of people coming to the All-Star weekend to be involved. It's fantastic, man. Fantastic. Neil saying on half-court offense, our half-court offense is better than the Pistons half-court offense. Okay, we'll have to see that in action tonight. I like that. We have mid-range specialist, the notorious BI3. Yeah, man, that dude is awesome, man. He loves that he made the decision to come to Toronto. They asked him, how do you feel about the decision to come to Toronto now? Oh, I loved the decision to come to Toronto. Yeah, he does. That is evident. That is very evident. KT saying, I want to see how physical that Thompson twin plays. He's very aggressive. I want Scotty BI and RJ to match their strength, or better yet, they got to try and match ours. Yeah, I mean, Asur, we'll have to see, man. He's a runaway train. Like he's such a fast, strong player, the combination. And in some ways, that's where he gets reckless, is because he just goes all out, and sometimes all caution to the wind. And he can be reckless from that. Yeah, I don't know. Oshai was the best foil for him on our team. And it's sad seeing Oshai starting to do Brooklyn social media stuff, being a net now. In some ways, he's the guy. I don't know, man. Who matches up with him? Scotty, Colin. Colin's not playing. Yeah, those guys are the kind of guys, but Scotty's going to have to muscle up with a couple guys tonight, depending on whether they get the suspensions through in time before the game. Isaac saying if Shed had made the Rising Stars, then would the Raptors have made the most player coaches sent to the All-Star game? I think we have it already. I mean, if somebody want to go do the stats and go count everything up for every franchise, I think we have the most representation in the All-Star weekend this weekend. I think we do. I mean, we can say no one of the other teams, they all have two representatives in the All-Star. We have two representatives now. So it's like the Lakers. Do the Lakers have a celebrity come into the celebrity game? Maybe you could say that. I don't know. Do they have rising stars? Does the Lakers have rising stars? I don't think so. I don't think so. So it's like, each category, go and see if there's somebody there at each level. And there's probably a hole for each franchise other than us in all the different places. There's only three teams that can say they have a coach coaching at it. That's San Antonio and Detroit and us, right? So that right there shows, all right, well, Detroit, how many all stars do they have? They have two. Do they have rising stars? Maybe, I don't know. Do they have do they have an announcer like Mariah Amber going? I don't think so. I don't think so. Shed should have been replaced. They just announced that Zachariah Rishashay is going to replace somebody in the Rising Stars Challenge as an injury replacement. But yeah, Shed is getting overpassed. It is what it is. In some ways, that chip on his shoulder, the stuff for Shed is going to come eventually. And to be honest, Shed is actually not playing well the last month, and he's kind of been slumping. So that kind of informs that also. G saying Scotty, Ingram, Darko, CMB, Elijah, Lawson. What a squad. Glorilla, Mariah Amber. Yeah, what a squad. And why don't we throw in Norman and Pascal in that list too, right? Blackhawk saying if Silver does his job, Duran and Stewart will have game suspension today. I could see them waiting until tomorrow to announce it. Sometimes they'll use the guys as saying we needed to review all the footage extensively and really debate how many games we should give to each individual. Maybe something like that. It just took us longer to go over the film. Sorry, not in time for the Raptors game. I mean, we'll see. I hope we hear something about it, but in some ways, is it honorable for us to play them at their full strength, even though, yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to play the best version of the Pistons, right? So some of us, we should all be saying we want them not to be suspended for the game tonight. We want to see the best version. That's what I'm saying. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see what happens, man. If they get that suspension in on time, we don't know yet. Kareem saying, because there's a wrestling following in this channel, Lex, can you do one-on-one matchups between Detroit and Toronto? Raptors win every matchup. Just curious to see the pairings. And I'm open for double teams. Okay, this is interesting. So you want me to book a wrestling card of the Pistons versus the Raptors? That's what you want me to do? All right. I guess I can do this. All right. And the matchups may be a little weird. In some ways, I might have to do it a certain way that it makes sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and first of all, we're going to have the main event be a tag team match. The main event will be Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram against Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. It'll be the all-star tag team matchup of the night. And of course, just like the Road Warriors, you got your animal and your hawk. Well, Scotty's animal and Brandon is hawk. And well, the other side will kind of have Duren be I don't know. Let's make him Arn Anderson, and we'll make Cade Cunningham Tully Blanchard. Okay. All right. Let's see. The next one. Let's go ahead and just have a big guy matchup. It'll be I don't know. Can we do Colin or even though he's out? No. Maybe we'll say Yak is playing, and it's Yak versus Beef Stew. Although Beef Stew may be suspended. We'll see. That's a good matchup. Those two tall guys. It would kind of be like Andre the Giant versus Big John Stud or something like that. I don't know. We could have a little matchup off the bench. Let's go ahead and have Grady versus Kevin Herter in some sort of like cruiserweight matchup, right? Grady Dick versus Kevin Herter. I think that's a good one. RJ and Emmanuel being a tag team against who's on the Pistons? I got to go look at the Pistons team and remember who they are. Let's have RJ and Emmanuel in a tag team match against Tobias Harris and I don't know. Tobias Harris and Azur Thompson, maybe. Yeah, those two against those. Although we give a lot of size against them, there. I don't know. This is a weird. Is this good enough? Is this good enough, KT? I mean, I tried it. It's a little bit weird. Let's see. Most giving me a cutoff. Safe travels to Mariah to LA. W stream. Yeah, Mariah Amber. Salute to you, Raptors All Star. That's right. Randolph saying, Lex, we do poorly against aggressive players. Osur Thompson. I'm hoping Trace Jackson Davis helps us in this area. I'm hoping for a convincing win tonight. Let's go. Let's go Raiders. Let's go Raptors. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see the outcome. Once again, I like that some of you guys have said, I just want to hang with them. I just want to compete with them. In some ways, if we win or lose, that shows that we're on a level with the top team in the East. In some ways, that will say a lot. So I'd love for them to win. Of course. We'll just have to see. But also at the same time, I don't want Raptors fans getting all crazy tonight if we do lose the game and they're being toxic on social media. We got to remember, this is a top team in the East. That's right. Screw honor. I want Pistons annihilated tonight. Okay, Blackhawk. Okay, that's pretty. Once again, you guys with your words, man. These are heavy words. I'm just saying. All right, let me see my tabs real quick. Let's do the Instagram stories. All right, we got AJ Lawson celebrating Brandon Ingram's All-Star selection, which is fantastic. And there's AJ pumping it and going crazy. And there he is at the press conference after the game with the 905 yesterday. Fred VanVleet yesterday joined the broadcast crew for the Houston Rockets for the second quarter and put on the headset and actually called the game with the broadcast crew. They sit really far away in Houston. That's crazy. But Freddie, how'd you like that? How'd you like doing the broadcast? It's a little different than your podcast, right? Jamal Shed is celebrating that Brandon Ingram is an all-star. He's put that on blast. And he's also got the picture of Scotty mugging for the camera. These guys are calling him a troll. Jacoby Walter thinks that Scotty's a troll for putting his face in the camera and saying, you see the shit I'm putting up with here? Yeah, that's funny, man. Also, Shed put on blast his friend Jonathan for his 35-7 game for the 905 yesterday. Lloyd loves the Jonathan Mobo game. Also, very much putting his good friend J-Mo on blast for his career game yesterday. Let's see who else we got. We got Sandro Mamu. He's celebrating Brandon's All-Star. Earned is what he's saying. And he also is giving a shout out to Jonathan for his accomplishment yesterday in his game. Jonathan Mobo is celebrating Brandon Ingram getting All-Star. And he's also celebrating his accomplishment for the same exact post as Mamu right there. Let's see what else we got. Jacoby Walter interviewed by Lindsey Dunn and asking him about Glorilla. And do you see Glorilla dunking the ball in the celebrity game or hitting a three? And Jacoby's like, I do not see her dunking the ball, but I do see her making a three because Brandon taught her how to shoot threes. Shed saying the same kind of thing. He's like, nah, man, she's not gonna dunk it, but with Brandon, she can probably make a mid-range. Coco Wade celebrating Brandon Ingram being on the All-Star game and also celebrating himself being on the All-Star coaching staff. That's fantastic. Here we go. We've got an official message from Raptors 905 here saying MLSC is terribly saddened by the horrific events yesterday in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia, and being on behalf of the organization and its teams extends its deepest condolences and prayers to the community and entire province. May you feel the love and support from Canadians coast to coast as we grieve together in the wake of this terrible tragedy. I have no idea what happened. I guess I should go check the news. That's sad. Let's see. Slim Duck, Chris Boucher's words of wisdom. Your mind is a magnet. Think opportunity, attract opportunities. Think negativity, attract problems. Choose wisely. I love that. That's something that I've been very much big on right now myself. Eric Smith is saying, congratulations to Brandon Ingram for his All-Star getting in there. Let's see. Also, Jacoby, congratulations to Brandon. And he's calling Scotty a troll. Calling Murray-Boyles, good money. Brandon Ingram, All-Star. All of his teammates are celebrating this. It's fantastic. Serge Ibaka went to eat lunch with some celebrities. Who's he with today? He's with Ebony Riley. Okay. Interesting. I don't know. Serge always has these fancy dinners, and he has like sometimes it's like Tiffany Haddish is sitting there with him at the table. Either way, Serge is living his best life. We know he is. Original man. That's right. Let's see. SGA wearing some camouflage and stuff. Let's see. What else we got? That's not important. There's the guys mobbing Brandon after he won. Yeah, good thing that cap did not open for Emmanuel Quickly. Yeah, that's pretty hilarious, honestly. Let's see. Emmanuel congratulating Brandon for his All-Star. Norman Powell got a signed put up for him at his old high school, Lincoln High School in San Diego, putting up congratulations, Norman Powell, NBA All-Star. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a full circle moment for Norman Powell right there. Jamison Battles congratulating Brandon Ingram on his All-Star. Elijah Martin is congratulating Brandon on his All-Star. A lot of congratulating Brandon on the Instagram stories this today. That's it right there. All right, let me keep going. Y'all, Straight Goods on Canadian Goods. Nature's Path is a Canadian company that is into organic food, healthy food. And this is my cereal, man. I don't even buy it in the box anymore. It comes in a big wholesale bag like this. And these are honeyed cornflakes. These are cornflakes. And they're so good, man. They're just like regular cornflakes, but this is a Canadian company. And it is organic cornflakes, which is good, man. More and more, we're finding out just how shady corporations are with spraying stuff like poisons on our food. So organic, people used to joke, oh, you're just paying extra for nothing. No, in some ways, you need to start buying more organic because we're actually poisoning ourselves on the down low with a lot of foods that we buy and we eat. So organic, Nature's Path, honey cornflakes, fantastic stuff. Pour me a bowl. Well, first put the cereal in, then pour me the milk. I drink an almond chocolate milk. It was just so good with this. And man, it's top notch. So there's your Straight Goods on Canadian Goods. Get you some Canadian cornflakes from Nature's Path. That's right. That's right. They got other flavors too. And I like that it comes in a bag like this, and it's a bigger size than just a cereal box. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Randolph saying, my thoughts and prayers for all the families and people touched by yesterday's tragedy. May all the souls rest in eternal peace. May their families be comforted. Man, listen, man. In some ways, it's like doing the regular news on this channel may get tougher and tougher because there could be a lot and it could be very messed up in some ways. I don't know. We're gonna have to see as time goes on. Hopefully, we're just, I'm gonna do something real quick. Dear God, please protect the Raptors and the Pistons and all the players in the NBA, all athletes around the world, all people around the world, all citizens of all nations, all sovereign nations from subjugation, genocide, harm, injury, all the different things that evil will do to people to hurt them. Please save people from ICE. Please save people from fascist right wing politicians and oligarchs that are trying to take over this world in a very, very fucked up way. Please, please, sorry for the cussing. All the gratitude and glory to God. I am so grateful for my life and what you've bestowed on me. I appreciate it. I have no ego in this. I am just a vessel to carry your message and try and help in this whole thing. And yes, please protect everyone. Please. Amen. Yeah. I mean, man, I just don't want to hear more of these stories. School shootings got too commonplace, and we don't need these kind of stories, man. People that are turning to violence right now, you are not with God. Let's just put it that way. You're not with a Jesus Christ. Your Jesus Christ is not the Jesus Christ that's the real one. Let's just put it that way. Raptors Reddit, interesting or not? No, not interesting. Although one person's posted this. They're saying, let's start the Sandro Mamukelashvili 6th Man of the Year propaganda. I can get behind this. Yeah, Sandro can be considered for 6th Man of the Year. I think that's right. Either that or Most Improved Player of the Year. One of those two things, Sandro could be in the running for sure. 6th Man of the Year or Most Improved Player. That's my Raptors Reddit checkup. Let's go see if there's breaking news, guys. Let's see if there's breaking news here. The Toronto Tempo are saying we are heartbroken by the tragic events at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School. The Toronto Tempo extends their heartfelt condolences to the family and loved ones affected. We send our love, strength, and support during this time of unimaginable grief. So this was a school shooting in Canada? Is this what happened? That's messed up, man. Let's see. Is there anything on here still? Nope. Blake Murphy's starting to talk about baseball more again because spring training's coming up. Yeah, nothing on the suspensions yet for those guys. Guys, check in on your NBA fantasy league. If you're in the Raptor Freak Yahoo Fantasy League, check on your teams and get your team set up. That's right. All right, let me see. Fiercey's got the white doves. I love that, man. Isaac saying, keep building community and lead with empathy. I love that, man. I love that. That's right, man. Kaloy saying, big up to you, Lex. A small break to be thankful for everything in our lives, praying for all those affected by the shooting. Yeah. We all are affected by this shooting. We're all affected by the crazy stuff going on in society. Let's not get it twisted. And we may have fatigue about this. And it's okay to say you need help. It's okay to reach out and try and get comfort from connection with other people, especially like this is a dangerous time to be out there on your own, kind of in your own bubble without any connection, because you may start to think that certain things are going a certain way. Human connection, community, and staying tied to each other is our biggest strength. And don't let them isolate you to a place where you're so in a weird place in your brain that you get deranged and you go crazy and do something stupid. So understand their ploy is psychological tactics. And in some ways, we have to, our best weapon is community and staying together and connected and checking in with each other and having the ability to kind of like say, you know what, I'm looking out for you, neighbor, just like you're looking out for me. So this is really important. The stuff that's happening in Minneapolis right now is very like uh, Germany during the age of Anne Frank, where there's neighbors hiding other neighbors in their houses, just like in Nazi Germany. This shit is happening right now. The other thing that's very scary about what's going on right now is the United States are trying to build a bunch of warehouses around the country to house and incarcerate more people. Some of these facilities hold up to 8,000 people. And what they're building like 25 to 30 of them in different strategic areas around the United States. Why do you think they're doing this? They're not doing this for immigration. They're doing this because they want to have a surveillance state, and they're going to start incarcerating people in general. If you disagree with them, they're going to throw you in jail. This is what Russia's done for years and years in that country. This is the same playbook. And Americans need to fight this. If it's not selling a warehouse to the government so that they can house people like animals, that's a fight. And understand this is what's coming, and this is what y'all need to fight against. Because, like, look, these warehouses are not what America's about. That's not freedom. If you want a higher percentage, which you already have a huge percentage of your population incarcerated, that's very similar to China, maybe even dwarfs it, you're going to go in that direction even further. That's crazy. So we really need to get pissed off and get really motivated, because what they're trying to do is not right. And it's not about what the idea of what government is supposed to be for the people, when it's for incarcerating the people. So yeah, we need to be vigilant and watch out. They are going to try and arrest people like in Nazi Germany, and people are having to hide out and hide people. And who are they going to come for next after they come for illegal immigrants, so to speak? That's a crazy thing. Anyway, I don't want to get too dragged down and everything, but we need to stay aware and informed about exactly what's going on. And the fact that the U.S. government is trying to buy up warehouses around the country to house people. The other thing is some of the people that are going into ICE detention are not ever coming out. And there are some accounts of people saying that ICE agents are killing people behind the scenes and they're going away and nobody knows where they go. They call it the black box. And it's basically they can apprehend somebody, take them into the facility, and murder them. And there's no trace of them anymore, especially with immigrants. If immigrants are here and there's not on paper trail or anything, they would be killing immigrants behind the scenes in these prisons, just like in Nazi Germany and Auschwitz. And we wouldn't even know it because some of these people can't be tracked or looked out for. Now, American citizens, hopefully they're not doing that to them, but if they start doing that, maybe we'll start getting evidence of like, wow, my cousin's gone, my brother's gone, my dad's gone. So this is serious shit. They're going to try and make people disappear through this system, and they don't want any of the politicians to come in and see what they're doing behind the scenes. That's a huge red flag, because these Congress people are trying to come in and say, we want to see what you're doing at these facilities. And they've been obstructing this the whole time, because what they're doing back there is not right. It's inhumane. It's not up to code for how the prison system has been in the United States, for like how they said this is how it has to be for human rights. They're not caring about that. I mean, shit, they built alligator Alcatraz. I mean, that tells you all there. And they were gleefully talking about alligators eating people if they try to escape. Now, these are barbaric, fucked up people, sadistic, fucked up people. And in some ways, God's wrath needs to come at them. Oh, yeah. All right, y'all. I'm going to do the wrap up real quick since we're close to 2 hours. Oh, we got to do the classic card real quick. And man, I don't want to go too heavy. In some ways, I already have, but in some ways, some of this stuff needs to be talked about. Why are they buying these warehouses, y'all? And do you want your children coming up to be more likely to be incarcerated just because they have freedom of speech and they want to say what they want to say and it doesn't go with what they want them to say? Because there's a lot of overtures that they want to throw everybody in jail that isn't a white Christian national that is with Trump and supports Trump. If you don't support Trump, they collected a file. And, if they're making more of a warehouse for everybody, and that's part of why they're trying to scare people to not be against Trump, is saying, we're going to buy all these and we're going to start arresting all y'all and bringing you to jail. That's messed up, man. That's Russia. That's Putin. That's their system over there. And I never thought I'd live to the day that American freedom and democracy would turn into Russian prison surveillance state. Seriously, it's crazy. All right, here we go. This is the classic card of the day. Yeah, that's who I thought that is. This is a little bit of a tough one. It's classic. In some ways, you guys may not know who this is. If you know his real name and you put his real name in, I'll give you extra points. Seriously. You can give me his nickname as his first name. That's fine too. That is not his first name, but it's close. You almost got it, Smooth. That is not his first name. It's not Wayne. Wayne's not his first name. I'm pretty sure. I've looked at his name before in the past, and that is not actually his first name. If it is, I'll give it to you. But I'm pretty sure his first name is actually different than that. Yeah, that's not his first name. You don't have his first name, right? But that is the player. That is the last name. His first name is not Wayne. I was right. Which his first name is. Yeah, it's not a common first name. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and get it, yeah, go ahead, Isaac. You can get it for Bimbo Coles. That's right. You won't get the extra points though. His name is not Wayne Coles. His name is Vernell Coles. And that's right. There it is. It's like Deezy got it just a little late. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give Isaac 100 points for Bimbo Coles. And then I'm going to give Slug Deezy 100 for getting Vernell because he got the name afterwards. So, yeah, 100 points for both you guys because, he did come in with the real name afterwards. So, yeah, Vernell Coles is Bimbo Coles. That's right. And former Heat player from the very beginning, Isaac and Slug Deezy, the king of the classic cards, sharing this one for 100 each. Boom goes the dynamite on the classic card. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Little palate cleanser there. All right, let me go on the rundown once again. No news about the suspension, so we should just figure they're not happening, guys. Maybe not going to happen before the game, and they'll actually have them come in and play against us today. We'll just have to see. All right, the Raptors on their injury list. Colin Murray-Boyles is out. He's ruled out. He will not play today. Chucky Hepburn is out, and Jakob Poeltl is questionable. So there's a good chance Jakob will play today. On the other side for the Pistons, really only one guy listed, Ron Holland II. He is out due to personal reasons. And, well, there's no word about the suspension. So we should be going into this right now. As of right now, that Beef Stew and Jalen Duren will be playing for the Pistons tonight, guys. Just so you know. The referees for the game tonight all favor the Raptors. We have a 5-0 record with all the referees this season. Guillermitas Petraeus is our head ref. He's fantastic. Ashley Moyer Gleish is the second ref, and John Conley is the third ref. All three of them favor the Raptors statistically more than the Pistons. All right, tonight, have a good showing, compete, do your best, play at a high level, and mess around and win. That's what I say, Raptors. The Pistons, we haven't faced them yet this year. Well, we're going to face them tonight, and hopefully we can get the first W against them and start the 3-game series against them for the season with a W. That'd be fantastic. We've done really well against the Central Division, so why not? Let's just continue it against the leader of the Central Division. That's right. Isaac said we all worked together to get that one on the classic card. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Let's go Raptors. Raptors, make your free throws, take care of the ball, stay involved with each other, push the ball, engage on defense, and, play as a team. Play the way you guys have been playing because it's excellent. And you guys are so talented. You're one of the best talented teams in the league right now. On the down low, we have some of the best talent in the league. We really do. And in some ways, that's a huge strength. So let's use that talent. Let's use that above average team IQ as far as smarts and adjustments with our coaches, with their instruction at halftime, and let's see if we can beat the Pistons tonight. All right, let's go Raptors. Let's go Monique. Go on down to the game tonight and bring us the win, Monique Lawrence, because I know you will, because you got those vibes, super fan. That's right. Detroit drools. Okay, yeah. All right, let's beat Detroit. Let's go Raptors. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Raptorize your day. Do the right thing. When you are presented with choices in your life, choose humanity. Choose the people. And don't sell us all out by being a bootlicker. Let's go Raptors. Let's beat Detroit. Let's go to Scotiabank Arena.